You're listening to the Adventurous Reinvention podcast. I'm Allison Boyle, aka She Dreams of Alpine, and this is the show that's dedicated to all the adventurous spirits out there who have either been transformed by the outdoors or are interested in what it looks like to step into a new, adventurous, and courageous kind of identity in their life. It doesn't matter what your background is in the outdoors, what age you're starting at, or where you grew up. If you're curious about the outdoors and using adventure as a way to reinvent yourself, you're in the right place. I'll be sharing all kinds of personal adventure stories, lessons I've learned from the mountains, teaching what I know about the outdoors and leadership, and interviewing some amazing adventurous women all along the way. I've been coaching women on becoming safe, confident, and self-sufficient backpackers and leaders of their own adventurous lives since 2018, and I know exactly what big fears and self-doubts can pop up along the way. I have so much to share with you, so let's dive in. Hello everyone, it's Allison, and before we dive into today's episode, I wanted to just kind of give a quick announcement. So I'm taking a little summer break from the podcast. I've got some very exciting personal adventures planned for the summer and also some really epic client trips that are coming up on the horizon. So this pause is really just to give me and my team a little space to breathe and reset and focus in other areas of our business right now. But I didn't want to leave you hanging with nothing to listen to over the summer. So I am going to be sharing something really special. I'm going to be sharing a behind the scenes audio series from my hike on the John Muir Trail. So my husband Michael and I set out to thru-hike the John Muir Trail back in 2020. So that is a while ago now. We were aiming to finish it in 22 days, but due to some massive wildfires and a full national forest closure, we had to bail early. This is something we definitely didn't expect. So this series, for some reason, we decided to record like a daily podcast back then. This was before I even had the podcast. But this series is going to be showing you a real, raw, behind-the-scenes audio that we recorded on the trail when we were out there doing the John Muir Trail as we dealt with all the highs, the lows, the relationship dynamics, and also the huge disappointment of getting kicked off the trail early in 2020, and then our eventual comeback in 2021 to finish it. So if you have ever dreamed of hiking the JMT or you just love a good adventure story, you are going to love these sort of like bite-sized episodes that are coming up of our kind of behind the scenes trail diary. This is something that I've never released before. So I really think you're going to enjoy this, and it will kind of like fill that, adventure itch that you might be getting while we're taking a little break from our normal episodes. And this series will run through about mid-August, and then we will be back with fresh episodes on the Adventurous Reinvention podcast. If you're listening to this kind of midway in the series, be sure to go back and listen to previous episodes. But at the end of the day, I hope you enjoy this and that it's a nice little kind of thing to get you excited about your own adventures and maybe even eventually pursuing the John Muir Trail one day. All right, let's dive in. My sleeping bag sounded like it farted.
You probably did actually fart.
No. Okay. Hello. This is Allison and Michael on the JMT podcast.
That sounded so much better.
And we're coming to you from our, what is today, day 5 or otherwise day 17 of our JMT saga.
Uh-huh.
And we're at North Fork of Mono, I think, something like that. We're in some sort of meadow area.
Yeah, what's this intersection here? Mott Lake
Trail or something.
Yeah.
Mott Lake Trail.
The intersection of Mott Lake or Mott Trail. And
we started at Little Italy Trail, basically. And today we had... It started as a, like, kind of flat and then went uphill for about 1,000 feet. Over some like unnamed or unmentionable hill, just big hill that we had to climb.
It wasn't a pass.
There's no pass or anything. And then that was gnarly only because
I don't know. It was gnarly to me a little bit just because I was tired or it was hot. It was kind of like a combination of both. But it was fine. Like, ultimately, it was fine. How did you feel going the uphill?
I feel fine. It was warm today.
It was just really warm.
Yeah. I tend to do a little better in the heat.
Yeah.
So I can see why you didn't like it. But the second half of the day, the second uphill was warmer, and that one kind of...
Well, but first, before that, uphill is like we did... Then when you get to the top of that unnamed hill thing...
Yeah.
You have to make your way down it, which southbounders have to go up, which we were thinking about the whole time. It was like the switchbacks that...
Never ended.
It
was weird.
You looked down, and it looked like the force just like kept... Sinking down further and further. And I was wondering, when are we going to reach the bottom of these switchbacks? It wasn't even a pass. No, it wasn't even a pass. It was the one benefit of those switchbacks is they were all dirt, and it was like well graded. It wasn't stair steps
or
and rock.
Rocky. Yeah.
So that's one upside, but otherwise we were thinking of how miserable that would have been to go up.
Right, because usually you're just like enjoying it. Oh, I'm not having to go up this, but you're like, wow, this keeps going and going, and then like you start thinking like, my legs are pounding. They're hurting, and I'm going downhill.
I turned like a 40-minute podcast on, and it ended, and I was still going down the downhill, and I was like, oh my gosh.
And I waited for you in the spot where it finally flattened out.
But there was still more.
After
that, yeah.
After we had lunch.
Yeah.
And so it was very unexpected for not being a pass.
We ran into somebody at the top of it before we started going down, and they said, those switchbacks almost killed me.
Nearly killed me, and we were like, huh.
We're like, oh.
All right, lady.
Yeah, just switchbacks. But then, no, seriously, it looked like it would have killed me too.
And I think, again, ultimately it was hot. Now, luckily, like 3/4 of it was in the shade for the most part, but
that part was fine. It was just long, and I think
it starts low and it's warmer down low.
By the time we got to the bottom of it, we had actually done about 8 to 9 miles.
Right.
Which we ended at about 12, a little under 12 miles today.
And it was our fastest day, without a doubt.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, it was one of our easier days. Like, we only did 2,000-ish feet of gain compared to 3,000 we've been doing. Like,
yeah, but it was one of our easier days, and it was
supposed to be, well, hold on, before that even.
Yeah.
So after the long switchbacks, then we were like basically out of water because the last time we filled up on water was at our campground this morning. And this is about 8-9 miles in before we could find the next water source. So it was a long stretch.
It was.
Without water. And then I remember we came across some really pathetic looking creeks, and we were thinking to ourselves, is this it? Is this where we're going to have to fill up?
Like it would have been enough, but the water was
kind of questionable, like not your ideal place to fill up, but if you're desperate, I would.
But eventually we found the bottom, and there was a bridge. And it was the most beautiful
I think it's
stream.
Mono Creek, and it was huge.
Creek. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like giant, but bigger than the one we've seen recently.
Big creek,
and it had
a footbridge that went over it.
Right.
Yeah,
but
it's big.
Yeah, but I guess for a creek.
Yeah,
I'm thinking we've seen wider stuff, but it's like rivers and stuff. But the water was pristine.
It was just awesome.
Like the bottom of the creek looked clean. It didn't look algae, like it was full of algae.
It was the saving grace to my morale, at least at that point of the day. I was feeling pretty low on morale because it was hot, and I had like this blister in my middle toe, and I was very thirsty.
Yeah.
And so we spent like a half hour there soaking like half of our bodies. And
you've also been getting heat rash.
Yeah.
And which is another part of why, it was probably so hard for you today. But yeah, that helps. And we didn't even like look for shade to chill and feel like we were just like in the open sun, even though we had just been walking in it the whole day in the water, and it was so cold and refreshing that we didn't even care.
I would have completely just swam in that water if there hadn't been a really busy, like, just taken off all the gross, dirty clothes we've been wearing and bathed if I could have.
Yes, because
but
it was also made
right next to a main trail, so.
And the bridge.
In the bridge.
But it was making the most beautiful, perfect pools. Like,
yeah,
you know, when a pool's inviting, like it was almost designed like a hot tub.
Yeah.
It was just like pool after pool.
And I'll say after day 5, we're both in like need of a shower.
Oh, the smells are getting interesting.
Yeah, we smell bad.
Yeah. You want to explain last night how, for the most part, we can ignore each other's smells.
Michael smells like Diaper is what he wants me to tell you. Like I was sitting there reading my Kindle. Sitting. Let me tell a story if you want me to tell a story. I'm sitting there reading my Kindle, just minding my own business, and Michael's like floundering around on his side of the tent.
I was trying to fix my sleeping bag.
Oh, you're trying to... I didn't know what he was doing. I just heard this like flopping and like big maneuvering and like moving the sleeping bag around,
and
all kinds of...
my backpack.
All kinds of hubbub going on, and I was like, okay, it smells strongly of Diaper right now. Like you're like wafting Diaper smells towards me.
No, it's just... The smells are getting pretty interesting, but it's part of the
allure
of through hiking.
Ooh, I love it.
Again,
I
last
thru-hike
year
for the Diaper smells.
Those Diaper smells. Again, the last year the campgrounds had so many more opportunities
to
soak and bathe, and whatever opportunities we've had this time, it's just we've gotten into camp late.
Yeah.
And today, which is like we got to camp early, the stream next to us is like barely going. I mean, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
It's enough to get water and it's
snow
moving.
Year. But I mean, after that creek thing, we kept going and we had about 2 miles of uphill, but it felt like the longest 2 miles of uphill.
Well, the first mile went by pretty quick. The last mile
felt forever.
I think we've said that like every podcast.
Oh my gosh.
And it continues to be true, so we'll continue to say it.
When it stops being true, we'll let you know.
But yeah, your heat rash is pretty bad at that point.
So I finally met Michael at camp, and I'm like, I felt pretty defeated in that moment. I was like, this sucks. My whole leg is like a giant rash. Because it is. Both of my legs have like heat rash. Usually it's just, or like the last few days it's been contained around my ankles. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But today it was so hot. And I just have this like stupidly sensitive white girl skin that's just in the heat. It's like, freaks out and just creates a whole rash. Which is like why I like backpacking in the fall, September, October weather. August is always borderline. I'm pretty sure we're going through a heat wave right now. Like it feels like a heat wave.
The weather has definitely changed in the last couple of days.
And if anybody doesn't know what heat rash is, it's basically like, just imagine any rash, but it just takes over your like legs. And the only cure for it is like not to exercise and to stay in a cool environment, which is basically the opposite of what we're doing.
Well, it's the opposite of what we can do.
I am going to try taking a Benadryl tonight. I really don't think it's going to work, but I'm just going to see if heat rash is similar to an allergic reaction, and maybe it helps it go down a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully. But we remember you having the same issue last year, and you made it the 12 days. And I think if you're a little bit more preemptive, it'll make your situation better. Just like we did today, you know, every chance you get to put water on your feet and cool your legs off and apply sunscreen multiple times a day, because that's also important, and stuff like that. We could at least, you know, make it better.
Yeah. I'm just
because the water's so cold here, man. It's just like it doesn't take much.
I'm feeling better now, but I definitely, when I walked into camp, felt really like, I don't really want to do this anymore because this heat rash really sucks.
Yeah, you even soaked your legs here in this creek that's like kind of gross looking, but
but
at least the water's cold.
We'll see what happens. I'm just like, also, you know, for all the women, ladies, backpackers out there, you know what I'm talking about. I'm about to be backpacking on my time of the month here. And that's going to just be a whole nother element of me feeling gross and with heat rash and smelling like diaper with Michael. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like,
yeah, that's.
At what point are you enjoying it?
It's not all glamour and beautiful sceneries and wildlife and fishing.
Yeah.
But
this is what the great thing, we were talking about this earlier, great thing about doing a podcast on the trail is that we can't really sugarcoat it the day of because we're in it and the realness of it, so we can give you the raw experience of it. Whereas if we did this after the fact, we'd be looking back and, oh, it was so great, it was a challenge, and
like, oh, it wasn't so bad.
I did it wasn't so bad.
Yeah,
I mean, it is. I mean, it's all those things. I mean, I think, you know.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I think that when you're doing anything for what's supposed to be 22 or whatever plus days, some people do it in less, the same thing in that many amount of days in a row, like, it's a challenge. It's not just, you know, the good stuff.
Yeah.
Because
which we always expected, I think.
Yeah, you could do the chunks of the JMT throughout the years in 3-4 nighters and be fine, but
yeah,
it's part of the challenge.
Yeah, it's just like with anything in life, you know. I think beforehand you always really romanticize it, like, oh, what my experience on the John Muir Trail will be like versus reality, and you have to just remember that, oh, there will be, like, you will smell bad, your feet will be in pain, you might get heat rash, but there will also be some really beautiful moments too.
But also beautiful moments after the fact, because you go through all those things that you're not usually comfortable with, that you don't usually end up smelling like on a day, whatever. But when you go home, when you get to go home and it's all over, you appreciate those little things.
Yeah.
And I think that's that's part of the enjoyment of it. For
sure. The achievement of it.
It's like when we go live in the van for a while, and, you know, I'm not downplaying it. For us, the van is really nice. It's got a little kitchen. It's got solar. So I'm not downplaying it at all. Like, it's not a luxury, but, you know, we're limited on water, and our faucet is like really tiny, and we just have to be really mindful of everything we use. So that when we go and stay with friends or family, you know, we get to appreciate all those other amenities, and the fact that you can shower every night, and the fact that you can clean dishes quickly, or at least, you know, better. So, yeah.
I think my favorite parts about backpacking are putting myself through a really challenging situation and seeing that I'm capable of doing it and coming out on the other side. I also really like going over passes and seeing, like, the vastness of everything. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even bring the aspect of actually being out here. But I'm sure if you've heard all of the other podcasts that we've done on the JMT, you'll know that it's obviously, like, this place is super unique, and there's not much else out there in the world that's this beautiful and this untouched, luckily, because of this system they have where they limit the amount of people in the backcountry and stuff. So, man, and sometimes I try to describe it in the words and it sounds weird. I start talking about this place reminded me of, like, a Greek, you know, like the scene from a Greek, you know, like, goddess mythology movie or whatever. But that's part of the fun. And even I'm carrying around a full-on camera with me, and I get home, and as fun as it is to look through the photos, it still doesn't capture it. As supposed to actually being there, and not just seeing it in person, but like smelling the smells, hearing it.
It's really good.
Actually, we were just talking about today how oddly quiet it is out here. Like there isn't a whole lot of wildlife noises. Yeah, like
no, I heard a weird bird this morning.
Yeah, but it was like a little bit,
solo bird.
And then he like went away. But when you're walking out here, like there's not a whole lot of singing birds and stuff. I'm not saying that it's like,
but I will.
Oh, it's a bummer.
Oh,
but it's interesting. It's a really quiet, peaceful place.
One thing that I just thought about when you're talking about wildlife is today. It was so hot, and we must have smelled so bad that the flies just loved us. We would stop for one moment, and we'd have like 50 flies on us, and me and Michael kept being like, "We're not dead yet."
Yeah, we may smell like it.
We may smell like it, but we're not dead.
The flies probably thought we were about to expire.
Yeah, they were just thinking of how delicious we smelled.
But also, I think the heat or something brought on the flies. Like, don't think like they're a nuisance. Because we haven't really had issues with fly prior to today. So we'll be curious. We have to find somebody who's been on the trail for like 1 or 2 days and ask them if they've seen flies fly around them.
Yeah. But anyways.
Yeah. We met, did we mention Kevin who had his foot hurt?
Yeah, we mentioned him yesterday. We ran into him again today, and he is exiting towards VVR to hopefully take a rest day and heal his foot.
And then
I don't know if it'll take just one day.
Yeah, we may see, if it works out, we may see him later. Because now, I don't think we mentioned it.
If I survive my heat rash.
I don't know if we mentioned it last episode, but we're thinking of taking a 0 day at Red's Meadow, which is this place where we're resupplying. And we were going to already like have showers and laundry. But we were just going to do that the day of, get there early, wake up really early in the morning, get there early and do all those things, and have even like a little shop and restaurant that sells burgers. That was going to be kind of like, like a good halfway point. But we might take a 0 day and take a shuttle that they offer to Mammoth, which really it'll be probably like 3 shuttles to actually get into the town where we need to go. So I can get that pole. I mentioned that yesterday. So if you don't know, go back to that episode. Fishing pole and whatever you may need. Maybe something you
life
think
support.
Of. Yeah. Like you said, there's nothing for a heat rash. But
someone
if you think of something,
to follow
you
me
can get it
around
there.
and fan a flame or fan at me the whole time while I hike.
Air-conditioned pants.
Air-conditioned pants. Just like snap gel pants where you snap them and it's cold.
Right.
I'll just snap the pants when I'm going up in the heat.
Maybe some of that icy hot. Is it icy or is it hot?
Can I get a new pair of legs?
Robot legs. Ooh, that'd be nice.
They'll probably get less blisters too.
Right.
Anyways.
We actually... I feel like we didn't run into too many people today.
No, today's been an oddly quiet day. Yeah. We haven't met our friend yet either, so I don't know if she just camped down further low.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she was supposed to camp where we are right now. But honestly,
that would have been a big day for her.
It would have been a big day for her, yeah. Because she was 4 miles behind, and it sounds like when we talked to Kevin that she got up. She was still in bed when he left. Or in her tent or whatever. But this campground, we're not a huge fan of. It's really weird. The spots are like literally the size of the tent. And then you have like trees on either side. It's like really hard to maneuver around. The creek is close by, but it doesn't really have a trail to it. So you're kind of bushwhacking. And I'm like, wait, how after all these years, how does it not have a trail? And there's a lot of vegetation and like,
it's just not as ideal as some of the other ones we've stayed at, but it's fine.
Yeah. It's, I only mention that because it is the first day we got to camp. I got to camp like probably at like 425, 420. So we've had plenty of time, but it's not really like a spot to fish, and it's not really a spot to like bathe. I did some laundry, wash some clothes.
All right. Well, I think that's about it for today. Tomorrow we have a big day. We're doing around 12 miles and 3,600 feet of gain, apparently. So it's going to be, I have a feeling I'm going to be coming onto this podcast saying I'm a bit exhausted and with more heat rash, but we'll see.
Sounds like a heat rashy kind of day.
Mm-hmm. But then the last day will be all downhill. So looking forward to that.
Yes. And then, but we're getting up
then
probably
Red's
really
Meadow.
early.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because we'll get burgers. Yeah, $18 burgers from what we hear.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, I wanted to thank you real quick for tuning into the show and listening all the way to the end. If you love this episode and you want deeper support in becoming a safe, confident, and self-sufficient hiker and backpacker, then head over to shedreamsofalpine.com/waitlist to learn more about our Backpacking Badass coaching program, where I teach you absolutely everything you need to know to be self-reliant on the trails and stop waiting around on others for the adventure invite. So I'd love to help you more in your journey of stepping into your adventurous identity, and that program is the absolute best place for us to start working together. So again, that's shedreamsofalpine.com/waitlist, and you can learn all about it there. So that's it for today, folks. I hope you get to spend some time outside this week, and I'll be back very soon with a brand new episode. Bye.